Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and we are back with the Apple IIe, and as you can see it's back together. And if I show you this, let me just switch it on now. Switch the monitor on, which is going into standby. Look, we have a working Apple IIe. Disk drives are working. Well, a disk drive is working. This one is fixed and is reading. The other one isn't. I managed to sort the problem out. The last problem I showed with the screen, the corruption on the screen, and the E10 error message. It was the EFROM had failed, so I had the image I'd already downloaded off the web, because I've got all the Apple ROM images on a file I managed to find on the web. So I'll look through it. I found the correct ROM image for this. I'll just put that into. I found the correct ROM image for this computer and burnt it to an EEPROM, which was harder said than done. It turns out that most of my old 2764 EEPROMs, which I've been keeping for years, are actually no good. I've tried UV erasing them. I've tried UV erasing them countless times to see if they were just getting a bit sticky, and they've all wiped fine, but you try and write to them and they just come up as a write error, or they fail on the verification, or they fail on the write. So out of 10 I found 2 that worked. One I've used in this, and I had promised someone 2 for a Dragon 32 DOS ROM cartridge. I was going to burn them 2, but at the moment I only have one spare 2764 EEPROM, so I'm sorry John, I'll have to get onto yours and burn you your other ROM when I can find some new ones. I will find some. I'm sure I've got some somewhere. It's just these were the only ones I found at the time. They were a bit disappointing. I've only got 2 out of the 10 that worked. But anyway, I digress. That got the Apple IIe back working again. Just replacing that 174 series logic IC in this drive got this drive working again. The other drive, it didn't. It doesn't actually see it as a drive so far. You put ADT Pro on and it only sees the one drive. I have even got, I actually have some software for the computer now. I audio bootstrapped ADT Pro. Once I had the one working drive, I could format some of these disks and transfer ADT Pro over onto a proper floppy disk. In fact, I'll just show you that booting now because it's nice and quick. I won't run ADT Pro because I'm in my office here and I haven't got the other PC set up. I've only got a Mac in here and it's not got the ADT Pro server software on it. But anyway, we put the disk in the drive, Control, Apple key and reset. And as you can see, the drive's reading now. If we look on screen, yeah, that's reading. I can hear it chugging away. Come on. This is of course the one time isn't it, when you want it to work and it doesn't work because you're trying to film it. Come on, let's try that again, because that should have loaded by now. Control. Oh hell, I think that disc might have died. These discs, by the way, they're out of my attic. They're old MS-DOS, German MS-DOS version 4.01 discs. So, I know it doesn't say it on it, but they are double-sided, double-entity discs. I had loads and loads of them. I bought them by the 100 back in the day when I used to refurb PCs to sell when I was still at school. I used to buy loads of these discs and just use them for selling off with the computers. That's not working. That's, like I say, that's sod's law because I'm trying to film this. Let's try a different disc, shall we? What have we got here? Now, of the let's try this. This is Apple Presents Apple. Of all the original discs that I had from the Apple, this is actually the only one that still reads. But let's just to prove that the computer is definitely working. That's reading. I can hear it. Bear in mind this disc is from 1983, so it's 30 odd year old, and it is an original. Here we go. So this is the original Apple introduction disc that you'd have got with your Apple IIe when you bought it. I won't let the whole thing run through because it's like 10-15 minutes and it does take its time. But as you can see, it shows that the disk drive is now working. I don't know why that ADT Pro disc didn't load then. Let's give that another try actually, because I'm a bit oh. Shouldn't boot to a... There we go. I'll safely take the disc out. Right. Unfortunately, these discs, which I was hoping to have those discs which I was hoping to have something good on them, I can't get them to read at the moment. There is some software out there I found for the Apple II, which I might be able to recover them. I might at least be able to see what's on there, but they're just coming up. Apart from Apple Presents Apple, which works, the rest just come up with I/O errors, so I don't know if there's anything I can do with them or not. Let me just try ADT Pro again, because that definitely has been working. This is, like I said, this is just sod's law, because I've decided I'm going to do a video that it will think, right, he's doing a video, I'm not going to work. There we go. Don't know why it didn't work the first time round, but there we go, there's ADT Pro. And this is literally a bare bones Apple IIe. There's nothing at all fancy in this Apple IIe. It hasn't got a serial card in it, it hasn't got a network card in it. So the only way I can actually get data between the PC and this is to audio bootstrap it. So I have a cable that comes out the tape in and out on the back of the Apple IIe, and they go into the microphone and headphone in and out on my PC. And it literally sends the discs down the audio line to the computer, which then writes it to the drive. It's very, very slow, but it does work. Each disc takes about between 10 and 15 minutes to write, but it does work, as you can see. I wrote all these discs using ADT Pro and the audio link. So anyway, we'll take that out. So like I said, I did show it worked, and what I want to show you is a game. So I've actually got some games for this now. When I first got these computers back in the 90s, the only software I had for them was like Apple DOS 3.3, Apple Presents Apple, and they actually came from, I was trying to say it in my other video, but something happened in the edit and that little bit got chopped off. I got these through the high school that I went to, the secondary school I went to. They were donated to the secondary school by a local company who had finished with them and just handed them to the school, say the school want them. And it was the local cigarette factory. And what I did get with these was lots of software which was like simulation software to show the control of the plant. That's what I thought was on that other disc that I've been trying to read, but it looks like it might have died now with old age. But yeah, these were actually used in the local cigarette factory. Considering some of them had I/O cards in them, I think they're actually used to control the machinery as well, rather than just used in the office. I think they were all actually used for control applications and for teaching the operators how to operate the machinery, because there was on that disc some, like I said, some simulations and some tutorial software It's a shame that it's not working. I will try and recover that because it'd be quite good fun. But yeah, they got given to my school, and I was quite friendly with the head of the IT department. This is back in the 90s when it weren't quite like it is now. You could actually have conversations with teachers and things could be got round, procedures could be bypassed. Because obviously back then, you know, equipment was meant to be got rid of in certain ways, even though these had been donated to them. But the IT teacher didn't want them. I bunged him a tenner basically for his trouble and for his petrol, and he dropped them off around my house one evening. So yeah, that's how I come across my Apple II's. But anyway, I will get back to showing you some software. So we've got ADT Pro, obviously that's quite vital for getting software on here. I've got some games that I've downloaded. That's just a blank, I'll put that away. I've got Data Life Disk Drive Analyzer. Now that I've used to verify that that drive's in good condition. Basically it checks the alignment, checks the speeds of the motor, checks the read and the write on it, and that it's given that drive a good clean bill of health. The other drive it won't even see, so I think I still need to change that MC, I can't remember off the top of my head, MC37 something or other IC. I'll change that in the other drive, and with any luck that drive will be as good as that one then. So I've got that. I've got Apple DOS 3.3. I do need to get a copy of Pro DOS, but at the moment I've got Apple DOS 3.3, which is better than nothing. Right, let's have a look at some games. Now this is, yeah, we'll start with this one. This is a classic. Don't know what computer this is. I think this might have even started on the Apple. Let's put that in there. There we go, Load Runner. As you can see, even on this composite screen, the picture isn't brilliant. I don't know whether it's just this Apple where it doesn't like this screen. It wouldn't actually work on my standard screen that I use in my office here, that little £5 old 4.3 telly. I tried that with this, and it would lock for half a second, lose lock for half a second, so you had a flickering image all the time. It wouldn't sync to it. At least with this panel I'm using now, it does sync to it. So let's have a go here. This is Load Runner, which let's have a look here. I am very, very bad at computer games, I will say that right away, so yeah, I'm not doing very well with that, am I? So I can't remember what I've defined the keys at. I think, oh well, no, I'm not doing very well there because I can't remember what the key combination is, but never mind. Let's take that disc out of there and try something else. This one I don't know how to play, but I will just load it up just so you can at least see it. It just shows what the mentality and the time of this computer was. And we don't think we got a lot of these games over in the UK. I said the Apple IIe wasn't real. Well, the Apple II in general wasn't big in the UK. We had our own. I suppose the best analogy between the Apple II would be like the BBC Micro. Kind of similar, similar specs, same processor, same speed. Yeah, I'd pretty much say Apple II, BBC, very, very similar. No, is that loading or not? I think I remember when I tried this before. This one takes quite a while to load. So I've got a failed load on that. Certainly doesn't seem to be loading anyway. Right, let's quit that one. You've got to remember these discs that I'm using are probably 25-year-old, something like that. I'll try that one in again in a bit. Now let's try the next one, because this one's the one I want to show you. It shows something else I've just knocked up from my new Apple. Let's see if this is going to load. That sounds more like it. I can hear the disc chugging away there. There we go. And we have Mario Brothers. Not Super Mario Brothers, Mario Brothers on the Apple IIe. Now, what I hate using a keyboard to try and play games, and obviously Apple II joysticks are not that easy to get hold of in the UK. So what I've done is, that is an old PC. I mean, it's completely out of age for the computer. It's a 90s, late 90s, cheap as you can get, quick shot, analogue joystick. And what I've done is I've made an adapter which converts the PC analogue joystick into an Apple II analogue joystick. It's very, very simple. It's a PC joystick connector. It's a 9-pin serial connector for the back of the Apple. There's a couple of resistors and a couple of capacitors, because the tracks on a PC joystick are I think 100 ohms or 100k, and they're 150 on the Apple. This little circuit just gets around that, and as you can see here, so we have our PC joystick, we have our Apple set up. Let's press spacebar to start the game, and as you can see, I'm very bad at games like this, I will say. But yeah, as you can see, my even if I am, there we go. Yeah. But yeah, that shows that we have a now a joystick for the Apple II, which means it gives me an incentive to get some more software for it and some more games. The graphics are actually pretty good. I've never seen the game graphics on a Apple II before. Like I say, I've only ever used one really in text. I'm really quite impressed. The sound's nothing to write home about. I was used to slightly better sound, I must admit. But yeah, it's really quite good. So I'm super, super pleased with that. That's one Apple IIe up and running. And I will possibly have a look at getting the other one up and running, or there is something running around in my head for a bit of a project with it. Seeing I do now have one fully working Apple IIe, and when I get the other disk drive working, it'll mean I've got a dual drive system. I do need to get a super serial card for it, which I don't have. It really, really needs a serial card to be able to do the disk transfer. And then I may look at something like a SD card solution for some large term storage for it. But the other one, I'm not sure yet. I'm certainly not going to do anything to it that would permanently wreck it. But I've got kind of an idea for something involving a Raspberry Pi, its keyboard and case, power supply, and yeah, I think you can get the idea where I'm going. Technically it will be an apple pie. So yeah, that's something else I'm going to be looking at in the future. But I thought you'd like to see the Apple II is now up and running. Like I say, it's not completely finished yet, so I've got that extra disk drive going. I might see if I can get the graphics are a bit better. I might try it on a CRT monitor, a composite CRT monitor, see if it's any better than it is on this. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen, and that I've actually got this old system up and running again. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.